Mishnah,
Sideways.
the Gemara is based on,
Started
was
sideways.
given to us through Rabbi Kiva and his Talmidim.
Sideways.
And Rabbi Kiva was somebody all of us know, Chazal teach us about, he was Mali, he was beautiful midas like every Yid, he was Mali and Sanua. He was Namaretz, he didn't know Perek Echad at 40 years old, he didn't know one Perek. And any single person would have felt on Rabbi Kiva that what's going to amount to the point that his father-in-law who loved Yidden, whose name was after the Midah that he fed Yidden, he loved and cared for Yidden. But it was so unlikely that Rabbi Kiva would ever know anything, would ever have shaykhs to Torah. He said, Kalba Savua said that if I would have thought that Rabbi Kiva would know one parak of Mishnah, I never would have forbade him, I never would have asked him for my nechasim. But it was unlikely on Rabbi Kiva that he would know anything. That was a betting man would say on Rabbi Kiva that it's not likely he would know anything. And Rabbi Kiva at 40 becomes the great learner of Torah. The tzaddik who Moshe Rabbeinu says on him, when Hashem showed him Rabbi Kiva teaching Torah, and Moshe in a prophecy was shown Rabbi Kiva, Moshe Rabbeinu said, why are you giving Torah through me? Give it through Rabbi Kiva. And Rabbi Kiva taught to teach his Klal Yisrael something about Nishmas Yisrael. Never count out the Yid. The Yid is going to rise, and the Yid has shaykhs to Torah, and the Yid will connect Torah. And the Yid will always, like Yomish Sefer HaTorah, Torah will never, ever, ever leave Klal Yisrael. As Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, the main disciple of Rabbi Kiva, taught Klal Yisrael, the Torah will never leave Am Yisrael. Rabbi Kiva then defies the odds, but of course teaches us that the Yid always has shaykhs to Torah, and the Yid always will rise and learn Torah, and the Yid, the pashtus, as Taisvus says, Taisvus asks, why was it Nailad and being mapped in the Neder? And Taisvus says that it's Shriach. There's a rule that to be matir a neder, Kalba Savua was matir the neder, but it has to be something that's made to be. It can't be a chiddush. If it's a chiddush, you can't be matir. It's called Nailad. It's a Mishnah in Nedarim. If it's a chiddush, the Mishnah in Nedarim says something unusual. The guy makes a neder, then something crazy happens, so then you can't be matir neder. But Taisvus says that it's not crazy, it's shriach. Person goes off to learn any Yid, so the pashtus is he's going to become an Adam Gadol. It's not Noilad, Taisvus says. It's the pashtus that a Yid learns Torah. It should never be a surprise, ever, ever, ever. A Yid shayach to Torah. And then Rabbi Kiva, of course, Rabbi Kiva has a whole yeshiva and he's giving over Torah, and tragedy strikes. And Rabbi Kiva, again, it looks like what's going to be with Torah Shabbal Peh? What's going to be with the Messiahs at Torah? Rabbi Kiva, with amazing resilience, and again demonstrating that Yid not going to learn, Yid not going to be the Am Hashem. We're loyally. Rabbi Kiva teaches the 5 Talmidim in Durham, the 5 Talmidim of Durham that he teaches, and that's the essence of Lag BaOmer, that Torah will be learned, and the Yid will be loyal to Hashem, and the Yid will rise even on difficult times. As Shimon Bar Yochai taught us, he's in a cave, there's Xera against, and against all the odds are stacked, but of course, the Yid in difficult situation, and through difficult situations, the Yid connects to Torah, and the Yid rises, and the Yid has shaykhs to learn Torah, and never count the Yid out. My friends and I, in this yeshiva, we've studied about my Rebbe. My Rebbe is somebody who was a youngster, an American kid, who didn't have that, he didn't, after 6th grade, didn't learn in yeshiva. His father taught him some Torah. He wasn't in a yeshiva. His friends were not shomer Torah mitzvahs. And he meets Rav Aaron, and the chances of these young American kids, and Rav Aaron, my Rebbe described to me his friends by Rav Aaron. He describes to me in Elul, the highlighted there, they're by the Sar HaTorah. And in all odds, the American kid had no shaykhs to the point that a very wise individual got up publicly and he announced Cutlerism won't survive in America. The man looked at Rav Aaron Cutler, a Sar HaTorah, and he looked at the American kids. My Rebbe told me that the best guys in Lakewood made a commitment during Elul, we won't go to the movie theater. He said, we didn't say we won't watch movies. We watched during Elul. We won't go to the theater. That was the best youngsters in the country. They made a commitment they won't go to the movie theater during Elul. These were young American sweet boys. Any betting person would say, Rav Aaron, Sar HaTorah, is this going to work? And the lesson of Lag BaOmer of never ever counting out a Yid. A Yid will learn. A Yid will connect to Hashem. A Yid will be loyal. A Yid is Shaykh to Torah. And a Yid will rise. And these Talmidim who became Talmidim of Rav Aaron Cutler, so shockingly became Talmidim of Rav Aaron, and lit a fire and ignited Torah in the whole country, again announcing, the same announcing, that's the essence of the day of Lag BaOmer, that the Mesivta HaTorah will continue on, and Yidden will learn, and Yidden will grow, and Yidden have a shaykhus to Torah. There are three crowns that are shaykh. There's a crown called Keser Malchus. Now Keser Malchus you give to a king when he becomes the king. Only when he becomes the king. There's Keser Kunas, the tzitz when a person's anointed. The name Kayin, he gets the tzitz. Tefillin is the Keser Torah, it's the main mitzvah of this yeshiva of Durham, Connecticut, of Waterbury. If you had to pick a mitzvah in the stomach, you don't get to pick for everybody. It looks that way. There's a tremendous, you can sit in the Beis Medrash, it's beautiful to see. Guys come in, they put on their tefillin. Tefillin is the Keser Torah. L'mantia Toras Hashem B'ficha. It's the Keser Torah. Why is somebody getting the crown of Torah? Did he finish a Mesechta? Did he finish Shas? If the Yid wears the crown of Torah, the Yid has shaykhus to living Torah, to learning Torah, to growing through Torah. Yid has shaykhus to Torah. And this day of Lag BaOmer is a tremendous, tremendous simcha. It's a very, very happy day. Reb Chaim Vital records that his Rebbe, the Arizal, went to Meron and connected, and he saw Arizal had a conversation with Shir Bar Yochai. When Shir Bar Yochai told him what a happy day, there was a Maisa, somebody was punished for saying a tefillah that wasn't so happy today. It's a tremendously happy day. It's the day that Yidden recognize, and we're sitting here in Durham. It's interesting that Klal Yisrael was not able to go to Meron this year. A few people, the Biyana Rebbe went with a couple of Hasidim. We weren't able to go, but we're very there with Reb Shir Bar Yochai. We're with him. A Bacher came to me. We made a gathering in Eretz Yisrael, the alumni gathering, and a Bacher came to me and he said, I want to ask Mechila. I want to say I can't come on the Shabbos. My mom is in Eretz Yisrael, and I can't come on the Shabbos. And I told him the truth. I told him, if you would leave your mother and come on the Shabbos, your mamish not with us on the Shabbos. You have no shaykhs to the Chavurah. You're only on the Shabbos. You're mamish the most with us because you're so with us. Because you actually went with your mother, that's why you're with us. Because you understand our Chavurah is about relationship and family and connection. You with your mother, your mamish with us. Another guy who was a more senior, Rav Yitzi Reis, who understands and has absorbed this yeshiva, is teaching Torah. In Rav Fisher's yeshiva, wrote me a letter that he always comes on the Shabbos. He was been in the yeshiva longer. He said, this year I kept the letter on me for a long time. He said, I was the most on the Shabbos ever. My wife wasn't feeling well, and I took care of my wife, and I was so with the Shabbos. He wrote a whole letter, I with the Shabbos. Reb Tzadok HaKohen writes that today, Chassam Sofer asked that what's Pshat we celebrate Shir Bar Yochai's Patira. Sad the loss of the Tzaddik. The Tzaddik dies, what's Pshat? Us Chassidim and Kol Yisrael has started to celebrate Pashtas, the Shaila, the Chidaz, Mesivta Shir Bar Yochai was Nifter today. What are we celebrating? Chassam Sofer asked it as a kasha. But Tzadok HaKohen says that often when the Tzaddik leaves, You can be closer to the tzaddik than ever. When he's here, Reb Tzaddik writes, you rely on the tzaddik. When he departs, the way to connect to the tzaddik is living the lessons of the tzaddik. And you can connect to the tzaddik more than ever. So right here and now, at the holiest moments of Lag Baimer, it's the last few moments of Lag Baimer, I want us all to be able to understand that we're shaykh to Torah. All of us, me, this guy, and you, we're shaykh to Torah. I mean to learn it, I mean to live it, I mean to connect to it, I mean to be elevated by it. I mean that deep inside, not persona, not what others see, deep inside, alone in my room, alone in myself, I'm shaykh to be elevated by Torah, to be lit on fire, to be energized by Torah, by living a life of sincerity. And the Yid has shaykhs to Torah. It's the great zivug and Yid, and never count the Yid out. Never assume a Yid's going to not. It's the lesson of Rabbi Akiva. It's the lesson of Shir Bar Yochai. Difficulties, challenges, feelings of distance. The Yid is shaykh to Torah. Never, ever, ever count the Yid. It's so pashut that our generation, when I was a youngster, there was no shaykhs Lag Baimer. We played baseball as little kids. By my Rebbe, we didn't hear of Lag Baimer. Some of us snuck down the block to the Solitzer Rebbe, and it's pashut to me that a generation that's main challenge is shame. Main challenge is the sense that I'm out. Do I really have shaykhs? When I came here, I thought I was a tin can. I was good at pushing and doing lemaisa, trying to do good. I discovered from the guys here that I'm a soul and I'm talking to souls. And the lesson of Lag Baimer is never, ever, ever count out a Yid. A Yid shaykh to Torah, a Yid has tefillin, the keser of Torah. And a Yid will rise and a Yid will be loyal to Hashem, is the message of Lag Baimer. And I want to sing with the Chevra Psach Libi B'Sar and open up my heart to Torah. Let it seep into me, let it seep into you, let it seep into Kol Yisrael wherever they are. Our nation's in a difficult situation, but there's been a tremendous, I've never been prouder to be a Yid. There's a tremendous Osiris in our people. We're Yid, we went skiing. So far I quoted a ski trip, this gathering and the gathering. So they all have a tzad Shabbat that Rav Aryeh facilitated and gave them to all of them. We were on a ski trip, and a lady and her nephew, who I wouldn't have known were Yidden, they walked up and they said, we want to thank you. I said, what? They said that we're thankful. We have since October 7th. We're proud we're Jews, and we thank you for looking like Jews. Thank you for having the courage to look like a Jew. I've never felt more of the pride. We're Yidden. I never felt to myself, I'm a Yid. I told the guys, I used to see a guy like Morty, I call good people tzaddikim. I know it's not, they're a Yid. I didn't know what a Yid was. A Yid. A Yid means something. And a Yid has Nishmas Yisrael. Peel off the klipa, like Shlomo said, Nishmas Yisrael. That shaykh to Torah and shaykh to Madregas. I saw this word of Tzaddik HaKoyin about Lag Baimer, and I think to myself, about the party, my Rebbe showed us something. I saw somebody who had faith in God. I saw somebody who lived Reinemus. He lived very elevated. He both understood how human we are, understood the challenges of this generation, the access, what we've seen, what we were exposed to, how shamed we feel, and yet how shaykh we are to Hashem, to Torah. So I want to pray for everyone. We'll pray together. We're davening now. I want to daven with the Chevra Psach Libi B'Sar. Open up my heart, open up our hearts, open up Kol Yisrael's hearts to recognize that we're shaykh to the Reimemus, to the elevation of Torah. Shlomo, let's start it on a nice high key. It's pretty high key.